Book Introduction. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a rut, unable to break free from bad habits or create good ones? Do you struggle to achieve your goals, no matter how hard you try? If so, you're not alone. Habits are a fundamental part of human behavior, but they can be hard to change. However, with the right approach, it is possible to build good habits and break bad ones. Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones, is a comprehensive guide to creating habits that will help you achieve your goals and improve your life. Written by James Clear, a renowned expert on habit formation, this book provides a practical and actionable plan for building habits that last. In Atomic Habits, you will learn about the 4 laws of behavior change, the importance of environment in habit formation, the role of identity in habit formation, and much more. Clear breaks down the process of habit formation into simple, easy-to-follow steps, so you can start building the habits you need to achieve your goals. This book is not just about creating good habits, it's also about breaking bad ones. Clear provides practical advice on how to identify and eliminate the habits that are holding you back, so you can make room for new, positive behaviors. Whether you're looking to improve your health, your relationships, or your career, Atomic Habits is the ultimate guide to building habits that last. So, if you're ready to take control of your habits and transform your life, read on. Chapter 1: The Power of Atomic Habits. Habits are the building blocks of behavior. They are the small actions we take every day that add up over time to shape our lives. Whether we realize it or not, our habits are responsible for much of what we do, think, and feel. In this chapter, James Clear explores the power of atomic habits and how they can help us achieve our goals. He explains that atomic habits are small, incremental changes that we make in our behavior, and that these changes can have a profound impact on our lives. Clear cites the example of the British cycling team, which went from being one of the worst in the world to winning multiple Olympic gold medals in just a few years. This transformation was due in part to the team's focus on atomic habits, such as optimizing the riders' diets, sleep habits, and training routines. Clear also discusses the importance of compounding, which is the idea that small improvements over time can lead to big results. He explains that by focusing on small, achievable goals, we can gradually build momentum and make significant progress towards our larger goals. Overall, this chapter sets the stage for the rest of the book by emphasizing the power of atomic habits and the potential they have to transform our lives. By understanding the importance of small, incremental changes, we can begin to make meaningful progress towards our goals without feeling overwhelmed or discouraged. Clear also discusses the role of habits in shaping our identity. He notes that we often think of our habits as being separate from ourselves, but in reality, our habits are a reflection of who we are. By changing our habits, we can change our identity and become the type of person we want to be. The chapter concludes with a discussion of the 3 levels of behavior change: outcomes, processes, and identity. Clear argues that if we want to create lasting change in our lives, we need to focus on changing our identity first, then our processes, and finally our outcomes. By doing so, we can create habits that are sustainable and will help us achieve our goals over the long term. Overall, Chapter 1 sets the foundation for the rest of the book by emphasizing the importance of small, incremental changes and the role of habits in shaping our lives. It introduces the concept of atomic habits and explains why they are so powerful in helping us achieve our goals. In the following chapters, Clear will delve deeper into the process of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 2: The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. In Chapter 2, Clear goes into more detail about why atomic habits are so powerful. He argues that small changes, when compounded over time, can have a profound impact on our lives. He uses the example of British cycling coach Dave Brailsford, who helped turn around the fortunes of the British cycling team by focusing on small improvements in every area of the team's operations. By making small gains in areas such as nutrition, training, and equipment, Brailsford was able to help his team achieve remarkable success. Clear also introduces the concept of the plateau of latent potential, which refers to the idea that we often have a lot of untapped potential in our lives, but we are not able to access it because we get stuck in our old habits. By making small changes and developing new habits, we can break through this plateau and unlock our full potential. The chapter concludes with a discussion of the power of habits to shape our identity. Clear argues that by focusing on small, atomic habits, we can gradually become the type of person we want to be. As we develop new habits and reinforce them over time, our identity begins to shift to align with our habits. In this way, habits become the building blocks of our identity. Overall, Chapter 2 builds on the ideas introduced in Chapter 1 and provides more detail about why atomic habits are so powerful. It reinforces the importance of making small changes and developing new habits in order to achieve lasting change in our lives. In the following chapters, Clear will delve deeper into the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 3: How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. In Chapter 3, Clear explores the relationship between habits and identity in more depth. He argues that our habits are not just a reflection of our identity, but they also have the power to shape it. As we develop new habits, we begin to see ourselves in a new light and our identity starts to shift to align with our habits. Clear uses the example of someone who wants to become a runner. At first, this person may struggle to run even a short distance, but by gradually building up their mileage and developing a running habit, they begin to see themselves as a runner. Running becomes a part of their identity and they are more likely to stick with it over the long term. The chapter also explores the concept of habit stacking, which refers to the practice of building new habits on top of existing ones. By linking new habits to existing ones, we can make it easier to establish the new habit and make it more likely to stick over time. Clear concludes the chapter by emphasizing the importance of focusing on identity-based habits rather than outcome-based habits. Outcome-based habits focus on achieving a particular result, such as losing weight or earning more money. Identity-based habits, on the other hand, focus on becoming the type of person who is capable of achieving those outcomes. By focusing on identity-based habits, we can develop habits that are more sustainable and more closely aligned with our long-term goals. Overall, Chapter 3 provides a deeper understanding of the relationship between habits and identity. It reinforces the importance of developing habits that are aligned with our desired identity and introduces the concept of habit stacking as a way to make new habits stick. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 4: The Habit Scorecard. Use this simple method to track your habits. In Chapter 4, Clear introduces a simple yet effective method for tracking your habits called the Habit Scorecard. This method involves creating a list of all the habits you want to establish and tracking your progress each day. The Habit Scorecard works by breaking down your habits into specific actions or behaviors that you can measure. For example, if your goal is to exercise more, you might track the number of minutes you spend exercising each day. By tracking your progress, you can see how you are doing over time and identify areas where you need to improve. Clear emphasizes the importance of making your habits specific and measurable. Instead of setting vague goals like exercise more, he suggests setting specific goals like exercise for 30 minutes a day. By setting specific goals, you can measure your progress and make adjustments as needed. The chapter also introduces the concept of habit stacking as a way to make new habits more automatic. By linking new habits to existing ones, you can create a chain of habits that reinforce each other and make it easier to establish new habits over time. Clear concludes the chapter by emphasizing the importance of consistency. He argues that small, consistent actions over time can have a powerful impact on our lives. By tracking our habits and making small improvements each day, we can create a positive feedback loop that reinforces our habits and helps us achieve our goals. Overall, Chapter 4 provides a practical tool for tracking your habits and making improvements over time. The Habit Scorecard is a simple but effective way to measure your progress and identify areas where you need to improve. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 5: How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. In Chapter 5, Clear explores the concept of making good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. He argues that by designing our environment to support our habits, we can make it easier to establish good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. Clear suggests several strategies for designing your environment to support your habits. One strategy is to make your good habits visible and obvious. For example, if you want to read more, you might place a book on your nightstand so that it's the first thing you see when you wake up in the morning. By making your good habits visible, you are more likely to be reminded of them and more likely to follow through on them. Another strategy is to create friction for bad habits. For example, if you want to stop watching TV late at night, you might unplug your TV and remove the remote control from your living room. By creating friction for bad habits, you make it harder to engage in them and more likely to choose a different behavior instead. Clear also introduces the concept of habit shaping, which involves gradually increasing the difficulty of a habit over time. For example, if your goal is to start running, you might begin by running for just a few minutes a day and gradually increase the distance over time. By gradually increasing the difficulty of the habit, you can make it easier to establish the habit over the long term. The chapter concludes with the importance of creating an environment that supports your habits. By designing your environment to support your habits, you can make it easier to establish good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 6: The Secret to Self-Control: Make the Right Decision Early. In Chapter 6, Clear explores the concept of self-control and argues that the key to self-control is making the right decision early. He suggests that willpower is a finite resource and that we should use it strategically to make important decisions early in the day when our willpower is strongest. Clear introduces the concept of decision fatigue, which is the idea that our ability to make good decisions deteriorates over time as we make more and more decisions throughout the day. This can lead to decision paralysis, where we become overwhelmed by the number of decisions we have to make and end up making poor decisions or no decisions at all. To combat decision fatigue, Clear suggests that we make important decisions early in the day when our willpower is strongest. For example, if your goal is to eat a healthy diet, you might decide what to eat for breakfast the night before so that you don't have to make that decision in the morning when you're tired and hungry. Clear also emphasizes the importance of setting priorities and focusing on what's most important. By identifying the most important habits and focusing on them first, you can make progress toward your goals even if you don't have the willpower to tackle all of your habits at once. The chapter concludes with the importance of creating systems and routines to support your habits. By creating systems and routines, you can make it easier to establish good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 7: The 4 Laws of Behavior Change. In Chapter 7, Clear introduces the 4 laws of behavior change, which are a framework for understanding how habits are formed and how they can be changed. The 4 laws are: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Clear argues that by understanding these 4 laws, we can design our habits to be more effective and increase our chances of success. He provides practical examples for each of the laws, such as using a habit tracker to make it obvious, creating a reward system to make it attractive, breaking habits down into smaller steps to make it easy, and celebrating small wins to make it satisfying. The chapter also explores the idea of habit stacking, which involves linking a new habit to an existing habit in order to make it more likely to stick. For example, if you want to start flossing your teeth every night, you might link it to the existing habit of brushing your teeth before bed. Clear emphasizes that the 4 laws of behavior change are not a one-size-fits-all solution and that different strategies may work better for different people. He encourages readers to experiment with different approaches to find what works best for them. The chapter concludes with the importance of creating an environment that supports your habits. By designing your environment to make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, you can make it easier to establish good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 8: The best way to start a new habit. In Chapter 8, Clear explores the best way to start a new habit. He suggests that the key to successfully starting a new habit is to make it small and specific. By starting with a small, specific habit, you can build momentum and gradually work your way up to more challenging habits. Clear introduces the concept of habit anchoring, which involves linking a new habit to an existing anchor, such as a specific time, place, or behavior. For example, if you want to start a daily meditation habit, you might anchor it to a specific time of day, such as right after breakfast. The chapter also explores the idea of habit shaping, which involves gradually increasing the difficulty of a habit over time. By starting with a small, easy habit and gradually increasing its difficulty, you can build momentum and make it easier to establish more challenging habits in the future. Clear emphasizes the importance of tracking your progress and celebrating small wins along the way. By tracking your progress, you can see how far you've come and stay motivated to continue. By celebrating small wins, you can reinforce the positive behavior and make it more likely to stick. The chapter concludes with the importance of having a clear motivation and purpose behind your habits. By understanding why you want to establish a certain habit, you can stay motivated and focused on your goals. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 9: How to make good habits stick. In Chapter 9, Clear provides practical strategies for making good habits stick. He argues that the key to making a habit stick is to make it a part of your identity. When a habit becomes part of your identity, you no longer have to rely on willpower or motivation to stick to it, it becomes automatic. Clear introduces the concept of identity-based habits, which involves focusing on who you want to become, rather than just what you want to achieve. For example, instead of setting a goal to run a marathon, you might focus on becoming a runner. By focusing on your identity, you can build habits that align with your values and make it easier to stick to them. The chapter also explores the idea of habit substitution, which involves replacing a bad habit with a good one. Clear argues that it's easier to replace a bad habit with a good one than to simply try to eliminate the bad habit altogether. For example, if you want to stop snacking on junk food in the afternoon, you might replace it with a healthier snack, such as a piece of fruit. Clear emphasizes the importance of changing your environment to support your habits. By designing your environment to make good habits more obvious, attractive, and easy, you can make it easier to stick to them. For example, if you want to establish a daily meditation habit, you might create a designated meditation space in your home. The chapter concludes with the importance of persistence and patience when building good habits. Clear argues that habits take time to establish and that setbacks and failures are a normal part of the process. By staying persistent and patient, you can build the habits that will help you achieve your goals. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 10: The Role of Habits in Achieving Success. In Chapter 10, Clear explores the role of habits in achieving success. He argues that habits are essential to achieving long-term success because they allow us to make progress consistently and sustainably over time. Clear introduces the concept of the compounding effect of habits, which means that small habits, when repeated consistently over time, can lead to significant results. For example, if you read just 20 pages a day, over the course of a year, you'll have read more than 7,000 pages, the equivalent of 20+ books. The chapter also explores the idea of creating habits that align with your goals and values. Clear argues that when your habits align with your goals and values, you'll be more motivated to stick to them and more likely to achieve your goals. He suggests identifying your values and goals, and then creating habits that align with them. Clear emphasizes the importance of having a growth mindset when it comes to habits. A growth mindset means that you believe that your abilities and skills can be developed through hard work and dedication. When you have a growth mindset, you're more likely to see setbacks and failures as opportunities for growth and learning. The chapter concludes with the importance of staying focused and avoiding distractions when building habits. Clear argues that distractions are the enemy of good habits, and that staying focused on your goals and values is essential to building habits that will help you achieve success. In the following chapters, Clear will continue to explore the science of habit formation and provide practical strategies for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 11: The Importance of Environment in Habit Formation. In Chapter 11, Clear emphasizes the importance of environment in habit formation. He argues that the people, places, and things around us can have a significant impact on our habits and our ability to stick to them. Clear introduces the concept of environmental design, which means intentionally designing your environment to make good habits easier and bad habits more difficult. He provides practical examples, such as putting healthy snacks at eye level in your pantry, or removing the TV from your bedroom to make it easier to create a habit of reading before bed. The chapter also explores the impact of social norms on our habits. Clear argues that we tend to conform to the behaviors of the people around us, and that surrounding ourselves with people who have good habits can help us adopt those habits ourselves. He suggests finding a community of people who share your goals and values, and who can provide support and accountability. Clear also discusses the role of technology in shaping our habits. He acknowledges that technology can be a powerful tool for building good habits, but also warns of its potential to distract us and lead us off course. He suggests being intentional about how we use technology and finding ways to minimize distractions. The chapter concludes with the importance of taking responsibility for our habits and our environment. Clear argues that we have the power to design our environment and shape our habits, and that taking ownership of this process is essential to achieving our goals and living a fulfilling life. In the next chapters, Clear will provide more practical strategies for designing our environment and shaping our habits. Chapter 12: How to Design Your Environment for Better Habits. In Chapter 12, Clear provides practical strategies for designing our environment to make good habits easier and bad habits more difficult. He emphasizes that small changes can have a big impact on our habits and our ability to stick to them. Clear introduces the concept of habit stacking, which means linking a new habit to an existing habit. For example, if you want to start doing push-ups every morning, you could stack that habit onto your existing habit of brushing your teeth. He suggests identifying an existing habit that you do every day, and then linking a new habit to that existing habit. The chapter also explores the impact of visual cues on our habits. Clear argues that we are more likely to stick to a habit when we can see a visual reminder of it. He suggests placing visual cues, such as sticky notes or reminders on your phone, in places where you will see them frequently. Clear also discusses the importance of reducing friction in our environment. Friction refers to any obstacle or barrier that makes it more difficult to stick to a habit. He suggests removing any obstacles or reducing any barriers that might get in the way of your habits. The chapter concludes with the importance of creating an environment that supports your goals and values. Clear argues that our environment should be designed to make it easier to do the things that matter most to us. By intentionally designing our environment, we can set ourselves up for success and make it easier to build good habits and break bad ones. Chapter 13: The Power of Implementation Intentions. In Chapter 13, Clear discusses the concept of implementation intentions and their power in habit formation. Implementation intentions are specific plans that you make ahead of time for how you will take action in a particular situation. Clear explains that implementation intentions can be a powerful tool for overcoming obstacles and sticking to our habits. By making specific plans for how we will handle potential obstacles or distractions, we can be better prepared and more likely to stick to our habits. The chapter provides practical examples of implementation intentions, such as, if I feel tempted to skip my workout, I will put on my workout clothes and go to the gym anyway. Clear emphasizes that the key to effective implementation intentions is to make them specific and actionable. Clear also discusses the importance of self-compassion and forgiveness in habit formation. He argues that it's normal to slip up or miss a day, and that beating ourselves up about it only makes it harder to get back on track. He suggests being kind to ourselves and forgiving ourselves when we fall off the wagon. The chapter concludes with the importance of celebrating small wins and progress along the way. Clear argues that recognizing our progress and celebrating small victories can help keep us motivated and on track with our habits. By using implementation intentions and practicing self-compassion, we can set ourselves up for success and make it easier to build good habits for the long term. Chapter 14: How to Make Your Habits Inevitable. In Chapter 14, Clear explores how to make our habits inevitable by creating an environment that supports them. He argues that if we design our environment to make it easier to stick to our habits, we can make them more inevitable and less prone to failure. Clear introduces the concept of environmental design, which means intentionally designing our surroundings to make good habits easier and bad habits more difficult. He provides practical examples of how to design our environment, such as keeping healthy snacks visible and within reach, while hiding or removing unhealthy snacks. Placing your gym clothes next to your bed to make it easier to work out in the morning. Creating a dedicated workspace to make it easier to focus on work tasks. Clear also emphasizes the importance of social support in habit formation. He suggests finding a community or support system that shares your goals and can help keep you accountable. This could be a workout partner, an accountability group, or an online community. The chapter also explores the role of identity in habit formation. Clear argues that our habits are closely tied to our sense of self and identity, and that by identifying as someone who has a particular habit, we are more likely to stick to it. He suggests using affirmations and visualizations to reinforce our identity as someone who has a particular habit. The chapter concludes with the importance of consistency in habit formation. Clear argues that it's important to stick to our habits consistently over time, even if we don't see immediate results. By creating an environment that supports our habits and identifying as someone who has those habits, we can make them more inevitable and ultimately achieve our goals. Chapter 15: How to Deal with Setbacks and Keep Going. In the final chapter of Atomic Habits, Clear explores how to deal with setbacks and keep going when our habits are challenged. He acknowledges that setbacks are a natural part of habit formation and that it's important to have strategies in place to overcome them. Clear introduces the concept of habit resilience, which means being able to recover quickly from setbacks and keep going. He provides several strategies for building habit resilience, including 1. Reframe setbacks as opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, we can reframe them as opportunities to learn and grow. By shifting our mindset, we can approach setbacks with a more positive and productive attitude. 2. Use implementation intentions. Implementation intentions are specific plans for how we will handle obstacles that may come up during habit formation. By anticipating potential setbacks and having a plan in place, we can be better prepared to handle them when they arise. 3. Focus on what you can control. When setbacks occur, it's important to focus on the things that we can control rather than the things that we can't. By focusing on our own actions and behaviors, we can take steps to overcome setbacks and move forward. 4. Seek support. As with all aspects of habit formation, social support is key to building habit resilience. Clear suggests reaching out to a support system when setbacks occur, whether it's a friend, family member, or coach. Clear also emphasizes the importance of self-compassion in habit formation. He argues that it's important to be kind and forgiving to ourselves when setbacks occur, rather than beating ourselves up or giving up altogether. The chapter concludes with a reminder that habits are a lifelong journey, and that setbacks are simply part of the process. By building habit resilience and approaching setbacks with a positive and productive mindset, we can continue to make progress towards our goals over time. Conclusion: Building Atomic Habits for a Better Life. In Atomic Habits, James Clear presents a comprehensive guide for building and sustaining healthy habits. Throughout the book, he provides actionable strategies and practical advice for breaking bad habits, building good ones, and ultimately creating a better life. One of the key themes of the book is the idea that small changes can have a big impact. By focusing on small, incremental improvements, we can create positive momentum and make long-lasting changes to our habits and behaviors. Clear also emphasizes the importance of mindset in habit formation. By shifting our mindset to focus on identity-based habits, rather than outcome-based ones, we can create lasting changes to our behavior and achieve our goals. Overall, Atomic Habits is a valuable resource for anyone looking to make positive changes in their life. Whether you're trying to break bad habits, build good ones, or simply create a healthier and happier lifestyle, the strategies and advice presented in this book can help you achieve your goals. By focusing on small, incremental changes and adopting a growth mindset, you can build atomic habits that will last a lifetime.